Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it. After a year of feelings and changes and what have it, we have finally made it to the other side of 2024. It's been a long year, at least for me, and I'm assured that not everybody's year was the same, but I feel like mine might have been the most interesting one I've had, from all the things that happened in the year before to even up in September, restarting this YouTube channel, building it back up from the ground up. It's really been quite the journey. So I'm gonna, take a second and reflect. We need to look at all the amazing things we've done, and I encourage you to do the same. I encourage you to look back upon your year and see what really changed. What did I do that I want to continue into the new year? And what have I done that I really need to change? Because I feel like we could all benefit from a bit of change. We all need that sort of reality check here at the end of the year, and it's a healthy thing to do. So, again, just take a second right now and reflect on all of the things that have happened in the year. And after you do that, I'm going to take a second and talk about the channel here for a second, because it's been a year for the channel. I'm surprised I got back to this whole YouTube thing in September, and even after that, we have grown so much. And I thank all of my community members who come back time and time again to watch these videos. I know you might not be ever present, but I do see the few of you that do, and they're a lot of my videos, and they're not all good, to say the least, which is why here in the new year, that's one of my things. I'm going to try to improve the watch quality of my video. I want them to not be, good ideas, but bad execution. I want both of those there. I want the good video, I want the good audio, I want it all. And it's gonna take a little bit of time to learn. I've spent, again, these last couple of months improving on myself. I've gone a long way, I think, from especially from where I was before even this September, and I feel like I still got a long way to go. So I do intend on continuing that journey forward, continuing the work into the new year. And again, if you haven't seen my short, which I wouldn't put it past you, I have gotten a new mic. It sounds a whole lot better than my old mic. Any of my old videos you can go back and watch if you want to put yourself through that. But I have wildly increase my audio quality in that way, and in the same respect, I intend on wildly increasing my video quality, as you may see here, depending on how good I get at editing in the next couple of days. And of course, that's all going to be up to how much effort I want to put in. If I'm making the 15th video on this channel about AI, I'm not going to put in as much effort as I may put into, say, this kind of video. But again, it's all depending. But I really like the kind of content I made, and I guess I kind of say that because I made it. You always like what you make, but I feel like after I sort of got out of the whole mindset that YouTube was just for gaming, and the only way I could make it in YouTube was gaming, I think I really started to like it more. It was less of a chore to make, and I'm not saying it was a chore before, but it's a lot less of one now. I can just go in, hit record, do a bunch of stuff, feel really good about myself, and I didn't really have to edit it. And now I have a bit more work on my plate, but I'm always more proud of the result that comes. And of course, I've been improving. But let's take a minute to ask you these questions, because on this channel, I do encourage these kinds of things. I want you to look at your life in the past year, at the whole 2024 season, and did it really feel worth it? Did it really feel like you have grown from the beginning? Do you feel like you've changed in any meaningful manner? Do you feel like your life has really progressed? And if it has progressed well? Has it progressed where you want it to? Or has it maybe gone off your set course? Maybe, you went to a dark place every once in a while, and that's okay. It's something we need to acknowledge, and we need to change if we feel it is needed. And of course, I'm not saying any of us are going to be perfect. I'm not telling you to go out tomorrow and be this fearless person, because that's honestly unrealistic. But I feel like over the course of these videos, maybe we can together grow in that sense. We can, because I've grown a lot from this channel. I've been talking about these sort of philosophical things, and it's really got me into my head and really got me thinking. And I encourage you to do the same thing. And maybe your source isn't exactly the same as mine. Maybe your intended form of venting isn't to the internet. And I totally get that. I was uncomfortable with the notion until I got like 3 videos in. But it is always good to have that time of reflection, to have that time of really deep thought where you can really get in tune with your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And I do highly recommend it. But even more so, I would recommend setting goals for the new year. New Year's resolution. It's always made a big deal about around these holidays, but I don't feel like New Year's resolutions do what they're supposed to do. Because your goals for a New Year's resolution are oftentimes shallow. And I don't mean that in an offensive way at all, but like most of these goals consist of I'm gonna stop drinking, I'm gonna stop eating unhealthily, I'm gonna start working out, I'm gonna do this, that, and that. But does it really matter? Like, in the grand scheme of things, yes, your health will improve. Yes, all these things will change. But has your mentality really changed? Have you really changed as a person? And some of those things can. Like, if you stop drinking, you tend to be, more present in situations, less reliant upon alcohol. If you start working out, you tend to have better morale. But do it for those things. Don't just go to the gym because I want to look fit. Go to the gym because it's good for my mental health. Because that's something we forget as a society all the time. We forget about mental health in everybody. There's this whole thing about men's mental health, and I feel like that is a big concern, but women's mental health too, and specifically children's mental health. I feel like it's so beaten down in our system that you have to be strong, you have to put on this face, this facade that you've seen these people around you doing for years. And I feel like all of our New Year's resolutions are just that. They're not trying to improve as people, but trying to improve our facade. You're not drinking to be this more clear-headed person. You stop drinking to look strong, to not look weak in those moments. And I feel like that's almost more important in the grand scheme of things. Now, there's also other things to be said about like even worse goals. Like money, that's never really a great goal. Money's cool, but it's a construct. We made it up. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. You can be happy without money and you can be miserable with it. But I feel like that's what our New Year's resolution should boil down to. What will make me happier in the new year? What will make me feel better in this time where I can just have a fresh start if I really want to? Because I'm not an adult yet, Of course, I'm here talking. It's no secret I'm 15. But I feel like starting over is such a powerful tool, but we're always so scared to do it. Because why would I start over? I already have this baseline I've spent years creating. I have this, amazing community I've built. But every once in a while, just think about starting over. You don't have to start over from scratch, but maybe just, not a facade this time, but an extension of yourself. It doesn't have to be yourself. I'm not asking you to show your true colors to the world, because I know that can be just as scary that can be just as bad as putting on a facade. But make your facade more of an extension of yourself than something to cover yourself up in. And it really just boils down to that. We need to be more like ourselves, even if we can't be just ourselves. And there are notes to be made that, maybe we should just grow as a community. Maybe we should just make it so you can be yourself out in public. But unfortunately, I don't see our society growing that much over one New Year's Eve. But hey, maybe a miracle can happen by the time I'm recording this. And another thing that needs to be said is that this doesn't have to be a fresh start if you don't let it be. You know, it's not new year, new me if you don't do anything about it. See so many people falling into the same, like, new year, new me mentality. And then they just sort of fall back into old habits. If you're going to say something, do something about it. I set myself a bunch of new habits recently, and although I haven't stuck with them all 100%, I still meditate at least twice a week. I still try to stay off of video games, and whenever I'm on them, I wear my blue light glasses. I'm with my friends usually. I use it more as a social thing instead of what I used to do is just sitting on there all the time. I have gotten myself to a headspace where I genuinely work more. Like, I am, again, a teenager. I don't need a job, but luckily I've had this surge of creativity from these new habits that have formed that honestly, it didn't even require this big holiday about to do, and that's another thing. We need to make it more normalized as a society that, you know, good things don't have to just come from one holiday. You don't have to wait till the new year to rework yourself. It's always, you know, we stumble through life, and I feel like any improvements that you feel like need to be made, or even just different paths that you feel you would like to explore, they're all worth taking a look at. They're all worth doing, you know, getting out of your comfort zone. And sometimes you have to. Like, I got out of my comfort zone whenever I started meditating. It felt weird just sitting there in complete silence doing nothing. I usually sit here in my office listening to a video and playing video games. I'm always in that I need constant stimulus state, but meditating sort of grounded me, and it sort of made me completely different outlook on life. And there are other forms of meditation, like if you're extremely religious, like some people are, prayer can be that sort of outlet that you look for, that peaceful moment. But just take it. Like, it is an amazing thing to just calm your brain down. It helps your focus. It prevents you from doing those things. So if you're struggling for a New Year's resolution for this year, I would highly recommend meditation due to my own experiences. But that's all to be said in another video actually about meditation, which I do plan on doing. So if you're interested in that, watch out for that. But I've been able to sit down and just work more. I've been able to work on my book. I've been able to work on the new D&D class that I made video coming out about that sometime around when this is posted. So I've learned to do all of these things, and I've really felt better about it. It's no longer just been me sitting here wasting my day playing Risk of Rain 2 over and over again. And although I still enjoy doing those things, I'll still take a minute, sit down, play some Destiny or some Risk of Rain or whatever the game of the month may be. I still take a minute and play it, but again, usually it's in more of a controlled environment. It's not like the only thing I do anymore, and I'm very glad for that. I've taken this time to learn Blender too, to do all of these things, really reinventing myself, as so many people try to during New Year's. And I have seen benefit in it. But it's not because I set this goal for myself where I'm like, I want to be a more creative person, or I want to be a, you know, not so addicted to video games. But it's just a byproduct of me just trying to look into myself and improve myself. So that's really what your New Year's resolution should be. I should continue or start looking for ways to improve myself as a person. So I do hope you guys have had a good New Year's Eve and will have an amazing 2025. And with that, I'll see you guys down in the comment section.